All right, y'all, let's get into the rescheduling of drugs and things that are going to be coming in the future, okay? And tie some points together for you, because what we have been taught as good and bad is just brainwashing and propaganda. There is no good and bad. And good and bad is only at the transition of those times, okay? Because we see that, like in the Old Testament, there was a little bit more death than the New Testament, okay? And the New Testament set up a new time, a new way of being. So with the Old Testament, they were looking to the cross, which was a violent event, okay? So that was kind of a more violent time. And now we look back at the cross, and it's more of a peaceful time, okay? And when Jesus returns the second time, there's a Jesus of truth and a Jesus that causes trouble and confusion. And he's going to be resurrecting himself in two types of men. And the one that gets trouble and confusion is the beast man. And he's the one that goes into hell on earth, okay? And this third temple is being rebuilt, and it's the third temple of the mind, okay? There is going to be a physical temple rebuilt in Texas when DC is destroyed and such, okay? And the little horn rises to fruition. However, until then, the temple is being rebuilt, okay? And the temple is being rebuilt for the two lights to reside. And some people are being brought out of this world, and some people are being brought down lower deep into this world. And the delusion is thinking that you're going into something good and something blissful when it's actually something of full control, okay? And it's something of what we see today, what we see as man today, as misery, okay? And this misery comes from being a baby, given the phone. Then you go from the phone to the TV or whatever, but you can go from your phone, you'd be like this the whole life. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. No, no. Ha, ha, ha. Ha. Scrolling. Got your holy scroll. All these things, right? And this be like this for maybe however long until the new age starts developing and man starts becoming one with the AI, and they can start merging and all these other things, okay? But there's going to be the man who needs the AI to think for them. They will not be able to think without it, okay? And they won't be able to intermingle or whatever. It's going to be like you get your nuclear fusion coming on that will power everything for all time. So you have your light, and then he'll light your path with a flashlight on the phone. And it will help you merge to be one with God. But this is going to be happening in two kingdoms, okay? But the beast kingdom, we see two kingdoms now. We see vax, non-vax. School versus homeschool. We see college versus non-college. We see natural birth versus hospital birth. We see all these different divisions, all these different segments of man set up in our society now. And there is a gray area that connects all these segments of things, but a lot of times they all have like the same foundation, okay? So what we have been taught as good, like white market drugs, the over-the-counter drugs that make you miscount and make you not wise and not want you to be interested in calculating the beast and all these things. These are designed to work as an exudate from your microorganisms, okay? So your microorganisms eat stuff in your belly. they put off exudates. That gives you what you are. That helps you know what you know. Okay, so you can eat things of this earth and organic foods as much as possible or whatever, and get the knowledge from this earth and energy from this earth, the energy, or you can get the energy from the beast system, from the boxes. You live by the box, you die by the box. You hand them a box as a child because you can't handle the loudness or whatever, okay? You already seeing the transition that people can't handle the loud or whatever. You see the boomers. The old people used to be able to handle the young kids. They can't handle the old kids now. And it's just a weird time because it's a transitional time, okay? But people need to understand there is no good and bad. That good and bad has been taught to you and brainwashed to you. That's where you're following the beast system, and you need to walk the straight and narrow. You need to walk through this world and make it a damn comedy show. You see that he's cast to the ground. He's going to come from the ground back into the air. But this ground casting is this theater stage, this world stage that we live in. And all these politicians, these actors, all these things are part of the CIA, and it's all going to be exposed in a sense, but it's going to be brought to you in a whole new fashion to bring the Minority Report down on you. So then people are silent in church, but it will be church because you'll be with God at all times, right? You'll be sitting there silent. Shh. You have to write everything down, and then writing will be a lost art eventually. But all these drugs that help you get an out-of-body experience, okay? The black market drugs help give you light in this world. The white market drugs help give you darkness in this world, okay? The ones you think that are good, the ones the Bible tells you that don't heal your body, they don't heal you. Have you not read the side effects? Those that they need to get rid of the word side, and they need to say effects, okay? Because when you take those pills, you will get that, and death on some of them, okay? Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say to y'all. Like, it's just basic. It's basics. If you need to see easy brainwashing, go and watch Sally and Sam from 1930 or 40 or whatever, and you can see basics. You can see basic brainwashing with Julia Child. Oh, I got this beautiful ceramic pan down at Safeway. I got it down at my local Safeway, which I love Safeway. They always have the most beautiful fruit. I get this most delicious apples at Safeway also. It's propaganda to lure you into the city to buy stuff from the beast. Okay? It's basics, y'all. So there's going to come a time when I think the two heads are going to split, right? The two kingdoms. And this kingdom that people call good is really bad. And that's the DeSantis one. He's going to go against the needle now, and then he's going to bring his own needle or his own little treatment or whatever, right? It's like Trump. He did his own treatment too. And then, but it's just going to play in a weird mirror, okay? To all merge all into one little point, okay? That's how you know everything's just going to come to an end, y'all. It's like in that 1 hour, boom. And then if you're not prepared for what's coming, which is China's rule or whatever, then you're going to be stuck in some hard times coming. Or if you don't have gold or silver or whatever, like actual tangible, you need actual tangible commodity so you can trade it in for the dollars, because those things help against the inflation, okay? And if you have your stuff in invisible money like the stock market or whatever, poof, okay? This is how gold went from 300 an ounce to what is it now, like 15 or 1600 an ounce, or 1200, whatever it is. It floats up and down. Anyways, that's how it's gone from that to that because of that market crash back then. And then after this market crash, it's going to go up again. And they've been telling y'all this for years and years. And there's two ways to do this, because China's money and the coin that China's working in is backed in gold. And they've been working on backing it in gold and all these other things, okay? And they don't operate in Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin's gone down. So back on the black market drugs, these ones that help you get an out-of-body experience, okay? The ketamine, the acid, the cannabis, the which is the tree, one of the trees of life that has infinite uses, and it's an antigen, and it heals all things in your body, and it knows what's wrong with you. It can fix you either mentally, physically, spiritually, whichever. Okay, you just got to find that right plant that's for you. All right, and every seed in that plant is different. Every plant in this world of that plant is different. Okay, and if you take the same plant, a cutting, and you grow it in a different area, it will be different. And for every single area, every single room, okay? Because it absorbs energy from the growers. It absorbs energy from all around. And it contains that energy. And when you consume it, you get that knowledge, okay? That's why it has the flame of fire. The lighter makes the flame of fire. And it's one of the swords of fire that protects the tree of knowledge, okay? And only cherubs and the elect are able to use this, because they're the ones who can see past this world and see past the bondage. And they don't necessarily, just because the church teaches it as right or wrong, they know what the Bible teaches as right or wrong, and they can see past the bondage of this world, okay? So there's going to be two kingdoms kind of set up. But the kingdom that people are thinking is good is actually the bad. And all this good and bad is playing out, and it's happening in increments. But the bad will become good eventually, right? And that's when your acid becomes good, your ketamine becomes good, your nitrous oxide becomes good, your inhalants becomes good. All these, whatever. I'm not saying all of them, okay? I'm saying like your mushrooms, your acid is made from rye. That's why I say that one. Ketamine, that one's being used. Ketamine is great for whatever. That was one of my favorites back in the day. They were all my favorites. I love the hallucinogens. And first time it was an accident or whatever, but spraying, I used to work with my dad painting, but spraying the lacquer, you go into the building or whatever, he'd be like, you get a little loop P, right? The loop P for the circle, right? That P. But that loop P, you need to step outside. So that was the first, I guess, experience per se looking back. And then my first, when I partook was in my 20s. And then first time I had alcohol was a month before I turned 21. And then I hate alcohol, actually. I hate that feeling of being dizzy and waking up hungover. I don't like hangovers or any of that. That's why the hallucinogenics were so good, because you could do them, party all weekend, and go to work Monday and not have any problems, right? But these, I knew back then that these were part of what it was to be in heaven, because it was just you could taste what you see what you taste, you could taste what you hear, all your senses were intermingled and all these other things, right? And then in some spots in life, when you take it, that's all you saw was demons running everything, and just demonic figures interwoven in every single thing, when you actually sat down and focused on something, okay? Otherwise it's pure bliss or whatever. But there's all kinds of things that you learn. I mean, I floated outside my body with nitrous oxide, and I watched me have a dance off with my buddy, watch me have convulse on the floor and all those other things, right? But mostly everything was pretty good in a controlled atmosphere, right? But my experiences back then in early millennium have kind of been a mirror for things to come, okay? And we'll end this video now because it's getting long.